Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to PA Street Team. For those of you that are new here, my name is Derek. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you can keep up with my latest content. Today it is Easter Sunday. I'm here in beautiful Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, and it is gorgeous out. It's about 70 degrees today, a light breeze, nice sunny weather mixed in with this cloud cover, so it's just a beautiful day. Luckily for me, we do my family's Easter on the Saturday before, just because it's kind of hard to get everybody together on the actual holiday because everybody has, different families that they go visit and stuff, so it's just kind of our tradition. But that leaves Sunday open for me to have a little bit of fun. Now, I mentioned in the last video that there was a product I wanted to try out on the car. Unfortunately, after the drag show, it rained, and it was also kind of late, so I didn't get around to it. But I figured today was a great video to spotlight that, and then after we're done with the project, depending on how it turns out, good, bad, or indifferent, we'll find out together. But later in the evening, we have the Brothers meet in Edders, and it starts at about 7. I'm probably going to get there at about 5:30 so I can get a good parking spot and grab some dinner. But yeah, I'm excited to try this product out. But first thing I need to do is get the car taped off because we're going to be applying additional graffiti to the car today.
Many minutes later.
Alright guys, so the car is now officially taped off. You can see it. It's not a perfect job, but for what we're doing, it actually doesn't need to be. We got the wheels, turn signals, fender markers. Garbage bags and grocery bags are your best friend when you're taping off. Grocery bags are great for mirrors and also exhaust tips, and then just split a garbage bag down one side and it goes over the wheels really perfectly. You can see the other grocery bags on the exhaust tips. But taped off all the way around, leaving the graffiti exposed. Although I need to redo that wheel here in a second because it's getting a little windy. But let me flip you around here. Give me 1 second. Alright, so the product that I'm going to be using today is a product that's kind of like Plasti-Dip, but it's made by a different company. It's made by Type S. If any of you have ever been down what I call the Fast and Furious aisle of the AutoZone or Pep Boys or Advanced Auto or anything like that, Type S is a name that you're probably familiar with. They make all the different kinds of neon and pedal covers and shift knobs and all that crazy stuff that everybody buys when they get their first car. But in the AutoZone where I worked, that was also where they housed the Plasti-Dip, and there was this product called Type S Reflective Spray. And honestly, I don't know a lot about it, but from what I've seen, it works kind of like a Plasti-Dip version of a product called Illumaglow. So basically it goes on kind of clear or hazy and has a little bit of a shimmer to it, and then at nighttime when light hits it, it basically lights up and turns white. There's not a whole lot in the way of YouTube videos about this product right now. There is one that I'll show you right now. So yeah, it kind of works like that. They actually sell two different kinds of it. There's the kind that I bought, which is the reflective spray peelable, and then there's also smaller cans that you can use that is washable for people that like to go bicycle riding at night and stuff like that. So I just thought it would be neat. My goal is to go over some of the more noticeable elements of the graffiti on the car. Just kind of like a cool nighttime thing to do because I've been doing a lot of nighttime events and meets, especially with the Brothers ones. So it could either turn out great or horrible. I have no way of knowing, but I'm going to give it a shot right after I garbage bag this wheel. Okay, so before we get too deep into it, I do want to see what the color looks in daylight. I'm actually going to spray it right here on the tape and the paper that I use just to kind of see. From what I've seen in videos, it's kind of like a milky clear with a little bit of a glitter kind of shimmer to it, but that was, I believe, with the other product, the Illumaglow, so I'm not sure how the Type S holds up to that visual, but let's give it a shot. It basically just takes a minute of shaking like a regular can of Plasti-Dip, and then you spray it on. So let's take a look. It basically just looks wet. But if you get right up on it, it's really hard to tell with the camera. There is a very faint glitter to it. Let me see if I can make it show up a little bit better. I know we're in the daytime, so it's really not going to give a good indication until night. But let me turn on the flashlight on my cell phone and see if that makes any difference. It really doesn't. I mean, you can see it because it's shiny, but it's kind of hard to tell. So I don't know if this is going to turn out at all. It may be just a garbage, but we shall see. I'm going to give it a shot over the car. If nothing else, it'll have some glossy spots on it. Alright, and with that, we are done. It did take all 2 cans. I tried to go over the graffiti as good as I could. Unfortunately, it basically sprayed out like perfectly crystal clear petroleum jelly. It was very weird coming out, nothing like regular Plasti Dip. I am seeing a lot of shimmer in areas when the clouds kind of emerge and then go back away, but it's definitely a product that we're not going to get to see the full effect of until nighttime, which granted is the reason for it, but it does make it a lot more difficult to apply. So I think if I was going to ever do this again as a spray, I would probably do it at nighttime and have another car shining its headlights on it. I feel like that would be a better indicator of how it was going. So as much as this is going to be a surprise for you guys, it's going to be a surprise for me too. I'm going to let it bake here in the sun for a little while, head home, rest up a bit, and then head over to the Brothers meet tonight, where pretty much everybody's going to get to see it for the first time, including me. I'm here now at the spot for the Brothers meet. It's about 6 o'clock. The meet starts at 7, but I wanted to get here a little bit early, grab some food over at Brothers Pizzeria. If you're ever in the area, check them out. They have great food, and especially if you're into comic books, the entire interior of the restaurant is all decked out in Comic-Con related memorabilia and different comic displays. It's really, really cool, so make sure to check it out. I'm not quite ready to do my montage yet because there's like 5 cars here so far. Like I said, it is really early, but a couple of things happened between leaving Lemoyne and coming here after I peeled the car, and I just wanted to talk about that quick because it was a little bit annoying. So if you see the car in person, you'll understand what's going on. When I took the blue painter's tape off, it actually peeled the hydro dipping. There's a carbon fiber look on the arrow catches, and I believe it's just hydro dip foam, but it was blue painter's tape and it took it off of both of them. And it wasn't on there for very long. I mean, the painter's tape was maybe on there for an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So I'm not understanding why that would have happened. I did send a direct message to AeroCatch with photos of it and kind of asked them what's going on. It's not a huge deal. I'm not, married to the carbon look. It's just annoying because they've only been on the car for a couple weeks and they were brand new when I bought them. So we'll see what they say about that. Another thing that happened was the fender markers, the one on the driver's side, the lens popped off. So luckily it popped off when I wasn't driving, but it's still annoying. I popped it out, glued it together with some Gorilla Glue, so it should be good to go. But those were a couple things that happened between me spraying the reflective spray on and getting here. So we'll see how the meet goes tonight. It is Easter. I don't think that's going to stop people from coming out, but it should be a good night, and I see people coming, so I'm going to start getting roll-ins. Let's go.
Chuki beat. Chuki B.
Alright guys, so the Brothers Pizza meet is over, and I'm just about to put away the car. The reflective spray honestly didn't really show much in the parking lot, even when headlights were on it, and I think it was a lot to do with the amount of light pollution that's there to begin with. I'm hoping that's the case. I really don't have high hopes for this, but we're going to find out. I do have the car in a pretty dark section of a parking lot, and I have my daily driver pointed at it so I can flash the headlights on it to see if it works, kind of like in the commercial. We'll test that here in a second. One thing that I will say, the Brothers meet up until the very end was great. Another amazing turnout. Shout out to WRLD and Chayton, who puts on the event. Shout out to Brothers Pizza for letting us be there, and also to the guys from Driven to Compete, who were there and kind of act like the security, Tim and Chris and those guys. I know it's hard to keep it under control, but you guys do the best you can, so yeah, huge ups to you. With that said, however, I did notice that tonight is the first night at a Brothers meet where we didn't have any police presence, and normally you would think that that's a good thing, but the last couple meets we've had police kind of park around the outside of the perimeter of the event and kind of just hang out and make sure nothing happens. And even though they didn't really interact with us too much, because people knew they were there weren't issues with the show. This time, unfortunately, there were no police, at least not that I saw, and because of that, all hell broke loose at the end, and it's just so uncalled for. Like, I don't have time for it. I'm 33 years old. I don't get off on that stuff. Like, I don't need to see your burnouts. I don't need to see your two-step. It's just annoying. I think I'm going to make a video about, like, what guy to not be at meets and events, because I've been seeing a lot of weird stuff and just bad choices going on. Irritates me. So I might make a rant video just because I can. But, huge shout out to Chayton and the guys at Driven to Compete. I know that you had some issues towards the end that you shouldn't have had to deal with, and people just need to be more respectful. Regardless of how you feel about Chayton or, you know, WRLD or any of that stuff, come to an event and be a normal human, because we're losing these events, and pretty rapidly, because people want to act up. And then those are the same people that want to get on social media and cry about why there's no meets left. So for now, I'm going to get off that soapbox, because it was a great meet up until that point, and I'm going to end the video by testing this reflective spray, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, the car's in a pretty dark space. Actually, it was dark enough that the camera had a hard time focusing in on it. So let's test it out. I'm hoping that the graffiti looks pretty cool outlined, but we're going to find out together. So here we go. So, that is extraordinarily underwhelming compared to how it looked in the commercial. I'm going to turn the headlights back off real quick. Alright, I don't know about you guys, but it seemed to me that the things that glowed the brightest, or lit up the brightest, were the wheels. And they're just regular silver. I didn't spray any product on them. So I think it's one of two things. Either the product's not all it's chalked up to be and it's another gimmick, and honestly maybe that's why we never sold any when I worked at AutoZone. The other thing could be, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that I probably did it wrong. I know on the can, like with most plastic products, they tell you that it's probably a good idea to do multiple layers. Unfortunately, because it sprays out clear, it's hard to tell where you've gone before. So to do what I was doing or attempting to do, I don't think the product is going to work that way. I did notice when I was spraying it that a lot of it was just clear, kind of like watery petroleum jelly kind of look. And then some areas where I held a little too long and kind of layered heavily, you could see more of the crystals or reflectant particles or whatever they're using inside of it. But honestly, for my purposes, after seeing the way that the wheels lit up, I think you would probably get the same effect with just silver plasti dip, which surprisingly there's none on the car right now. So yeah, I'm underwhelmed. It wasn't a lot, and it could, like I said, it could just be because I didn't layer it up as heavily as I should have. I was just kind of hoping for something really cool, and I apologize for it not working out like that. I'm just trying to figure out fun things to do with the graffiti because I have to keep it a little bit longer. Someone had suggested to me on Instagram, for those of you that don't follow me, my Instagram is @PAStreetScene. They had suggested trying out glow-in-the-dark plasti dip, so I think I'll probably give that a shot. I need to figure out where to source it from because obviously it would have to be in a rattle can form because I don't have the paint gun or the sprayer. But yeah, that'll probably be my next project. If you want to give this product a shot, I think another thing that might have benefited me, if it wasn't for the fact that I was just trying to outline the graffiti, maybe taping off sections and getting to paint them very heavily, but I didn't really want crisp shapes on the car just because that's not really what the car is about. I did notice in the daylight, a little when I was looking at it when I stopped for gas and things like that, that it does kind of have a shimmer to it in the daytime. It's not super noticeable except for certain angles, so it's kind of fun. It reminds me a little bit of watching the Power Rangers as a kid, and there was one episode where they got glitter outfits. And that's just me nerding out for a bit, but it kind of has that same effect. It doesn't really block any of the color of the graffiti or hinder anything. But with that said, I'm rambling again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're hitting subscribe and that notification bell. I have another video coming up in the next week or so because we're heading over to Volksfest, and that's at the Mount Hope Estate and Winery in Manheim, Pennsylvania, where they do the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. So that should be a lot of fun. But until then, I hope you guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care.